It's one of my favorite chili recipes, and it's one that I have been making for well over 40 years. It started out as a very simple recipe of maybe 5 ingredients and has turned into, as you can see, a recipe of many ingredients, but it is delicious, and I make it over and over and over again, and it never gets old. We love it, and it's really not that difficult. If you can open up a can, you can make this recipe. If you can brown hamburger in a pan, you can make this recipe. You can cut up a few onions and celery, you can make the recipe. So even though it looks like a lot, the most, I guess, hardest thing to do, if you want to call it that, is opening up all these cans. Hopefully you have a better can opener than I do, because mine definitely is not working real well. So let's get started here. The first thing, we're just going to start emptying all of our cans into our pan here, our soup pan, soup bucket as I call it. You know, a lot of people say, what is a bucket? Well, I happen to call, I don't know why, but I do. I call it a soup bucket, a soup pan, whatever. Most of these ingredients I'm sure you have seen many times before. They're just, you know, cans of the Ro-Tel tomatoes, which I really, really like. The Bush's chili beans, which I'm sure everybody has used these before. And some people will say to drain your beans, and I don't. I just figure, why, you know. And here's another can, and some of the cans of Ro-Tel are mild. Some of them are hot, some are chili style, Mexican style, whatever I grab at the store usually. Now here's another original, and I have a great big can in the back there also. And here's another can of chili beans. We like the chili beans in ours. Whoop. And so basically that's all you do, is just start dumping in here. I like to make this the base of my chili before I add the meat. I just think it's better that way. I don't know why. So I usually get this part started, and then I'll get it going on the stove, and then I'll chop up all my vegetables, my onion, garlic, green peppers, and things like that. And then I'll let that cook for a little while, and then I will brown my meat. And I will add that to the pot at the very, very, very last. And here's a can of tomato puree. You can add, I'm not going to add it all. This is rather a big can, so I'll save that. And well, here's a can of, a big can of Bush chili beans, mild. I'm trying not to push it too far over. I'm going to have it all over my hand here. And we just keep dumping cans in. And this is, we like, over the years when I first started making this recipe, it was a real simple recipe. My sister Barb gave it to me, oh geez, I was 20, so I'm a long time ago. Let's say, you know, 40 some odd years now. And it was just a real basic recipe. It was your tomato soup, your tomato juice, a can of kidney beans, and hamburger, onion, celery, and I believe it had, okay, this is a can, another can of black beans, and it had a can of kidney beans and hamburger, celery, onion, and I believe maybe, I think that was it. I don't even think there was chili beans in there. And it had elbow macaroni. And it was a very, I would call, a Wisconsin style chili, because it was almost like a hot dish. And if you're from this area, you know what a hot dish is. And here is some petite diced tomatoes. And trust me, if you have fresh tomatoes, that only make it taste better. So here's my other one. And that was all that recipe was. And over the years, I have added, as you can see, a lot more ingredients, a lot more spice, and it's we enjoy it. So, and this is a big can of the Ro-Tel. I'm gonna throw that in. And I do clean out all my cans. Don't forget to clean out all your cans and rinse them out good. I'm going to be doing that here. And don't forget to recycle. But as I was saying with the chili, it was more of a Wisconsin style, chili. I even did I had an interview on a radio station about the Wisconsin style chili. And that particular recipe, I think, would be considered Wisconsin style chili because to me, like I said, was more on the order of a hot dish, baked dish, casserole type thing. It wasn't anywhere near the type of chili most people are aware of. And, you know, there you have your Mexican style chili. Wow! Chili. Plus you have your Texas style chili. And there's a can of tomato juice. That went boom boom. But I also saw something in here, a big piece of tomato. That's okay. So that's what I mean by that. But we, over the years, this is a can of tomato soup. We have grown to love the beans and just the meat. We don't even add macaroni or noodles to our chili anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore. So now here we go. Now that's all of the ingredients. 2 cans, and these are the big cans. These are the 14-ounce cans of tomato soup, but you can, you know, use the smaller cans. I have used many times. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a can of water, whoop, hopefully I won't miss it, to one of my soup cans. Whoop. Boy, I got the dropsies here today. And I'm just going to take it and go back and forth. I'm sure you've seen your grandma, your mom do this, whoa, many times. And I'm just going to add that. Now, like I said, I always make too much chili, and we haven't even added that yet, but things do, it will cook down. So, and then I'm just going to stir it up here real good. And I like to add a little bit of beef broth to my chili. Just gives it a little added richness that I really like. I'm just going to take a can here and do this number. I'm only going to add 1 can, about 3/4 of a can of beef broth, because I have enough juice in here as it is. If I need more, I can add more because I have a little bit more left in there. So if I need to add more beef broth, I will. I like to add a little bit of water because it kind of, you know, gets it all going in there. And here is my spoon. And now we're going to slide over our spices, which actually I do not add an overabundance of spice in my chili. I add what we like, I guess. So you can do, as far as the spices go, you know, whatever your family likes. Normally I even add a bay leaf in here, which I don't have because I just made the beef stew. And I always add a packet of McCormick original chili mix. I always have, so I always will. Just one of those things. I can't make chili if I don't have a packet of this. I mean, I have, but I don't know. It's kind of a mental thing, I guess you would say. And then I'm going to add some chili powder. And I do add quite a bit. Yep, I do. That's the chili powder I add. And I will probably add a little bit more as the soup goes on. So there. That's quite a bit. But it's okay. Well, that smells very good already. And I haven't even added anything else. And I'm going to add a little bit of salt. I don't add a lot of salt at first because, you know, the canned tomatoes and things and the juice sometimes can contain quite a bit of salt, but you never know. So I like to just, whoop, I add a little bit more than that. A little bit more. There. We can always add more ingredients or more spice. You just can't take it out. And of course there's pepper here. Got this silly pepper shaker. Forgot to add pepper at the store. There, but it works. Hey, why not? And now I'm going to add just a little bit of these red pepper flakes. Just like that much for now. I don't know, whatever that is. Just for now. Wow. I don't know if it's pepper or whatever it is. Wow, okay. Now I'm going to add some Texas Pete. Well, got some spice up my nose there. And I'm going to add about 20 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And we'll add 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 30 altogether. Excuse me. Wow, I got pepper in my nose. Woo-wee. Wow. Oh, that'll clear out my sinuses for sure. Okay. That's like, whoa. And then this I'm going to add, there's a place up here, the Piggly Wiggly in Pound, Wisconsin, that carries really some really nice spices for a small town grocery store. They really carry different kinds. Like this, they carry the chipotle pepper, they carry the smoked smoky paprika, which I really like, and they carry Hungarian paprika and all kinds of different spices. And believe me, up here, living up in the woods, sometimes you just can't find that kind of stuff. So it's nice to find it. So I'm just going to add a few shakes, because this stuff is also very potent. But it adds a lot of zip and a lot of zazz to your chili. So I'm just going to do that. And I will probably be adding more spices later on. So what I'm going to do now is just stir this all up. Set it on my stove. And I'm going to get going with my chopping my vegetables. We have our chili on the stove. And now I'm just going to start on the vegetables here. The aromatics, I guess you could call them. And this is garlic. It's about, oh, I'd say 5 cloves, give or take a couple. You know, you can, if you like more garlic, add more. This is all I had left. So I'm just going to add it all. And smash a little bit more here. Here we go. And keep cutting up this. And I already got my celery cleaned and ready to roll. And I'm going to say celery, not salary. And the reason why I always say that, celery, not salary, is a very simple one. In my family, we have 2 people that insist that you say celery, celery, celery. And then you got the rest of us that say, no, it's not salary, it's celery. Sell, like you're going to sell something. And so we go back and forth, and it's kind of a family joke, I guess you could say. Boy, this thing's loud. And yeah, we kind of, it's kind of a family joke. So we kind of goof over, is it celery or celery? This thing really is making a lot of noise. I think I'll just do the cupboard here. Not much better, but so that's why I say celery, not salary, because like I said, my husband and my daughter-in-law, not sure about my my husband and my daughter-in-law say sal, like salary is what you make when you work, and you make a salary. And celery is what you use in cooking. I can't remember. I don't know what my son-in-law thinks. I don't know. I never asked him if he uses celery or salary, but I can't remember. So whatever. But that's the reason for that. I guess I will use this after all. I'm kind of talking and moving things around here at the same time, which is, you know, kind of me. So, woo. Keep on cutting, cut, and then we're going to add this. I'm not going to add all of the vegetables at first. I'm going to put them in a big bowl. And I'm just going to let them all kind of sit there and add a little bit at a time. My soup pot is up to the brim with chili. So I'll have to probably do what I usually do. And that is, I will probably have to take a quarter of it, chili out, put it in a separate pan, and then work that way around. So I do like to get the celery in right away, because celery, I don't know, for some reason to me celery takes forever and a day to get done. Okay, I don't think we're going to need quite all of this here. I'm just going to cut a couple of those down, throw those over there in the sink. Yeah. Whoa. I have also poblano onion, in my oven right now. And I'm going to add that also. But right now I'm just giving it a good roasting. So, and these are my sweet onions that I got. I love these little mini onions. I just, I don't know, I just really like the flavor of them. They add a lot of color to things, and chili and all that kind of stuff. Anything you put them in, they add color and they add a really nice flavor. I love bell peppers, but you know, the ones you buy in the store, let's face it, they just don't taste the same as fresh. So in the winter time, I do tend to go with these mini peppers, sweet peppers, and they do tend to just all around taste better to me. If you like bell peppers and you want to add them, you know, be my guest and go ahead. I prefer these. I don't know. My husband doesn't mind them, so I think why not? So you can probably guess I made way too much chili for this one pan. So I have another pan of chili going, and I have the meat in there, and I roasted my poblano pepper, and I put that in here already. So this is what this looks like, all done. This is my one pot. So I have this big pot of chili here, and then this one here. So that's how much chili I ended up making. Like usual, way too much, but we love it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put my ground beef and my ground pork in my chili here. And I have 4 pounds of very lean, delicious, great ground beef that we get from our butcher. And I'll place in, I can't think of the name right offhand, but it's located in Kaukauna, Wisconsin. And I also added 2 pounds of ground pork. And that we get from our pork guy who lives in Brilliant. So I'm just using a slotted spoon to transfer, and I'll just dump that grease out when I'm all done, or fat, or whatever you want to call it. That isn't much grease or fat that we get from all that hamburger and the pork. This isn't all that much when you really think about it. So that isn't much at all. So that's why I use a slotted spoon to take all that out. And then what I'm going to do is I added the rest of my onions and my peppers, and I was chopping up the vegetables when my camera went out. So I already added all of the peppers and garlic, peppers, celery, celery, onion. So there's a garlic, or no, there's a celery, onion, peppers, and I'm sure there's a garlic clove in here somewhere. Yep, doing its thing. So all that's right here, as a matter of fact. So there you go. And I added all that, and I roasted one poblano pepper, because I do like the smoky flavor that they give chili. I already added half of the poblano pepper that I had roasted, took all the skin off, chopped, and added to the other pan of soup, bucket, whatever, and now I'm going to add it to this one. And to roast a poblano pepper, you just put it in the oven about 425, 450 on a sheet of, like a double sheet of aluminum foil. And I just pierce it a little tiny bit with a knife, put it in, and let it roast away. And when you take it out, when it's done, the skin should peel right off, and you'll know it's done because most of the skin is black. Or it's just really, 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 really tender, and you can just tell by the looks of it. It looks like it's roasted and done. And then you just take it out, let it cool, take off the skin and the stem. I, take out the seeds and chop it up, and you're good to go. So, this is my chili recipe that I have been making for almost, like I said, 40 years, if not longer. It varies sometimes from time to time, but basically this is what I do. It's good, it's hearty, it makes a ton and a half. It's just my husband and I, and we have enough chili to last us for quite a long time. So if you need it for a party or Super Bowl party or just a family gathering, this would be a big, big hit. Now, if you want to add noodles or macaroni, elbow macaroni, if you want to do that, you can. That's a northern thing. Or if you want to, spoon it over spaghetti, noodles, go ahead. I'm not going to this time. I'm just going to leave it plain. So, I'm glad you stopped by. Thanks again. And I hope you like and subscribe to my channel. Or push the little bell and you'll get updates on when I post a new video. So you have yourself a good day, and hope to see you back here again. Thanks.